So my name is Luc Beauséjour. I'm a harpsichordist and organist too. I studied in Montreal at the Conservatory of Music of Montreal and then Concordia University. I went to Europe, to Amsterdam at the Zwilling Conservatorium with Ton Koopman. And the year after, I went to France in Strasbourg with Kenneth Gilbert. I came back to Canada. I worked at Jeunesse Musicale tours, so it was great. And then I did a doctorate at Université de Montréal, and that's it for my studies. After that, I decided to have my own series in Montreal. It's called Clavecin en Concert. I started with the harpsichord recital, and then musicians said, "Oh, I want to play in your series." It seems that it was bigger than it was in fact. And we started to have funding from government, and then growing. And now we can have ensembles or very beautiful projects with singers and solo recitals, harpsichord recitals with people from Europe, United States, Canada. So it's great. So I did a lot of recordings, also solo harpsichord, and also with ensembles, which I really like. And I teach at the Montreal Conservatory and also at Université de Montréal. So I do everything. So it means harpsichord lessons, organ lessons, ensembles, also continuo. So it's my life.
Summed up there. So how about you tell us about what we see behind you there?
Okay, you know, I'm a little bit crazy. I really like harpsichords. So I started to have a collection a few years ago, in fact. And you know, when you start to have a collection, you like to have all kinds of harpsichord. If you play French music, you want a French harpsichord. If you play other kind of German or Italian music, you want other kinds of harpsichord. So I have, but even in French music, you have 17th century, you have 18th century, so you have to have 17th century harpsichord and also 18th century harpsichord. So it explains the number of harpsichord that I have.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful painting.
Yeah, because I like this. I can show you. It's one keyboard harpsichord, and it fits in my car. So when I have to go further than Montreal, I can have this instrument. When you go on tour, we went with other musicians and a singer in the east of Canada. We did a tour, so in a van we had this harpsichord, cellos, everything.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Wow. Are they very sensitive instruments, especially going out in cold weather, damp?
I think what is difficult for a harpsichord is when you change the humidity more than the temperature. For instance, if it's very humid and then you go places it's very dry, you know, the wood will shrink, or I don't know, and sometimes you can hear and you have a big crack.
Yeah.
But I was very lucky with my instrument, so it didn't happen.
Very good. Okay, good. I'm a clarinetist. I've had cracks, and especially in Winnipeg, it's so dry.
Yeah.
So when you travel, do you kind of plan ahead for that?
But you know, very often when I go, like in Winnipeg, they will provide the instrument.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. I will use my instruments in Quebec, I would say, but not very often when it's very far or you see.
Yeah. For this concert, do you need a variety of harpsichords also, or will you choose one, or will it be one instrument?
Yeah, we will have one, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's enough.
We're so looking forward to the upcoming MCO concert. And for this concert, you'll be featured as harpsichordist and leader. So in that role, just to give the audience an idea, how would that be different than a conductor in front of an orchestra?
I would say a conductor has his own view of the piece, and he will ask the musicians to play as he would like, as he imagined the piece. As a leader, I would say that not that I will be will have compromise, but I think it's interesting because I will play. So when you play, you don't have a conductor's baton, you see. So it's through the instrument that I will try to communicate ideas, but at the same time, with the soloists, they have their own view of the piece. So we have to match, and I don't know if the orchestra will have Baroque bows, for instance, or modern bows. So it changed a little bit, but I would say that I like to start with first with what I will hear, and then maybe give my ideas, try to fit in this kind. At the end, the result is very important. We have to be free. Every musician has to be free. Maybe it's a little bit different from a big orchestra, you see, because in big orchestra you have to have a kind of a discipline, because otherwise, if I raise my hand, no, I want to play like this, no, it's not possible. You have to decide. But in a small ensemble, you can have these exchanges, you see. So I think it's more flexible, and I'm very excited to know the chamber orchestra and the soloists. You see, for me, we will be together to produce a beautiful concert.
Yes, 2 nights.
Yeah, 2 nights. Yeah.
And when you're rehearsing, like, are there any specific rehearsal techniques, and would that be a different experience for the musicians compared to working with a conductor? And also, maybe you could comment on if you have rehearsal techniques for the more traditional repertoire, the older repertoire, compared to the new music. And we're going to have a world premiere for this concert.
Yeah. In fact, in the Osterle music, the Snow White, I won't conduct, I won't lead because there is no harpsichord in this piece. So Timothy and NIKKI CHOOI, they will have to lead this piece. So I will be like this.
Okay.
You see?
So you leave the stage at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the other piece, harpsichord is always there. So, I mean, I have to play. In the concerto by Bach, of course, it's a solo concerto with ensemble. CHOOI's brother, they will have to lead also. But with me and the orchestra, we will have to find a place where we are very comfortable, you see. And I think because I play a lot of Baroque music, I can bring some ideas or maybe suggest something different. And it will be very interesting to see how open they are to other ideas. But in the other way, I have also to be open to the way they play. You see? So I think it's like chamber music. It's real chamber music because a small group you have to exchange. So of course it's not possible to have the opinion of everybody, but you will have to make a decision, but together.
And for you, you're right in the front kind of the orchestra. You're facing the orchestra and performing. So the audience maybe we would see your back.
Yeah, I will try to have a beautiful hair.
Well, the musicians, the rest of the musicians on stage, will they be sitting or standing?
I asked. I think they will stand. I think it's more interesting for the audience. It's something very active. You see, when you sit for a big orchestra, I totally understand, but for a small group, it's more interesting, I feel, and we can see better also. So.
But sometimes maybe that decision will be discussed, and maybe that won't be the case. But we'll have to see next week.
Yeah.
And for the program, maybe you could tell us a little bit about that program and the repertoire we'll be seeing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful repertoire. I'm very happy because you see, the first piece is the famous A minor concerto for 2 violins by Vivaldi, and this piece was transcribed by Johann Sebastian Bach for organ. You see, it's a young Bach. He saw this piece, and I have to work with this because he learned a lot with this composition. We knew that he was influenced by Italian musicians like Vivaldi, Corelli. So it's a 3 movements piece, and the second movement, it's interesting because it reminds me the 4 Seasons, very well known 4 Seasons. It's not the same music, but you kind of atmosphere, the same atmosphere. So it's a duo with 2 violins, and the orchestra is doing pizzicati. So it's very, it's like singing. It's very beautiful. We will have the Bach concerto in F minor. First, when Bach wrote this piece, it was for violin, a concerto for violin, but he transcribed this piece, its own piece, for harpsichord. When he was in Leipzig, you see, with the Collegium Musicum, with his sons, they play multiple harpsichord concerti, solo harpsichord. So it's like a feast. The second movement also is beautiful. Again, with pizzicati with the orchestra, and very famous. You will recognize this piece, I'm sure. After that is the Snow White by Osterle, composer, living composer, important to see. And I find his music like we are hypnotized by this music. And it's not this kind of music, very difficult. You're like this. No, you enter in his world, music world, and it's beautiful, I can say. Really, really. After that, we have Objeminiani La Folia. The theme of La Folia was very famous, and many composers wrote variations on this theme. Tam ta da dim pam, tam tam. It's very, very famous. So we have like 22 variations. It's a big piece with a lot of variety. Sometimes it's allegro, very fast, and you have adagios sometimes, and vivace. But it's it's a concerto grosso. It means that you have all the ensemble with the 2 violinists, and then sometimes only you continue with the 2 soloists. So you have this big sound and little sound, big sound. So it's very, very beautiful. What will we? To finish the concert is the Brandenburg Concerto number 3. Da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dim, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-da-da. Pure joy.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You mentioned continuo, and just for us to have a bit of a refresher, many people will have heard that before. Could you sum that up a bit? What you mean by that?
In Baroque music, it's a time in music history where the bass line becomes very important. So you have this bass, which is played by not only one performer, but you have the bass, the contrebass, the double bass. You have the cello, maybe 2 cellos, the harpsichord. You could have a lute or theorbo. You can have a bassoon. So a lot of people, and they play the same line. So it makes it very important, very important. And the continuo, it's a way to add to this bass figures. So with numbers 6, 4, 5, 3, and it applies to keyboard instrument, or when you can play harmony like a guitar, like a theorbo, like organ. So this group is called the continuo, the continuo group. They take care of the bass, you see, in the composition. So in Baroque music, you have this continuo everywhere, almost everywhere. Of course, not when you play a solo flute, but otherwise, passions, cantatas, concerto, sonatas, you have this line with figures, so it's called the basso continuo. Yeah.
Thanks for that. That's really helpful to have that context. Yeah, and of course I have to ask. So you'll be in Winnipeg. Maybe you're coming in a few days. So what do you have planned, or what else? What else are you going to do while you're here?
I didn't think about that. I have to say, but I have to say that it's not my first time in Winnipeg.
Okay.
It will be my 4th time. I remember doing harpsichord recital, organ recitals. So I have very good memories of Winnipeg. And of course, I was amazed by you see between buildings, the little passerelle. How do you say this kind of link between 2 buildings? So because in Montreal it's underground.
It's all underground. Yeah. I just moved from Montreal.
Oh,
actually, so I'm getting used back to the from underground to overpasses. Yeah.
Wow. It was. I like people in Winnipeg, so it will be great.
Yeah, and you probably don't have too much time. You'll be very busy, and it's still a lot of snow here, so sometimes it's a bit difficult to get around.
I think I will check what kind of temperature do you have, or weather do you have right now?
We're just -4, I think, today.
Oh.
And it may get up to +1 or something this week, but not too bad. And then finally, thinking ahead to the night of the concerts, and then soon after, it'll be available online for the audience. So what are you most looking forward to, and what do you hope the audience will experience at the concerts?
I think they will be happier after the concert than before, because the music is so beautiful, and I think it's great music, and I'm sure with the CHOOI brothers and the orchestra, the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra, it will be fun. So if we can bring something like this to the audience, the goal is we have atteindre le but. We have we will be very happy.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing you in person.
Same for me. So I looking forward to be in Winnipeg.
Thank you. Looking forward to it, and safe travels. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.